Hello and welcome once again to M&A Ambassadors, another episode of the USP, Becoming the Ultimate Sales Professional. Now, we've been talking in the last couple of episodes about brain dynamics and how it influences our decision-making and thinking styles. And we looked at left brain preferences versus right brain. And in the previous episode, I talked about one particular kind of buyer or seller called the challenger. So today's episode, I'm going to focus on a second type of buyer or seller, the organizer. Now, this is the brain model that we have been following, and we have looked at the challenger last time, which we saw was left brain, front brain, high aggressive and logical. Today, we are going to stay on the back brain itself, but we are going to look at the organizer. Now, the organizer also is left brain, which means they are logical, structured, fact-based, efficiency-driven, practical kind of people. They want proof and evidence of everything. But because they are on the back brain, they are less aggressive in their approach. You will not see them speaking loud, fast. They will never interrupt you. They prefer to ask questions rather than tell. They're very, very patient. They pay a high attention to detail, and they will usually wait for a chance to be heard. But they're very, very meticulous, thorough, and organized in what they do. You will not see a facially expressive person. Their hands will not move a lot. Less energy, low-key people. It doesn't mean that they're lazy or that they're not interested. They're just more thoughtful and careful about everything that they say or everything that they hear and how they decide. So it's a very low risk-taking buyer or seller. The front brain are both high-risk buyers. The back brain are both low-risk buyers. So being at the back brain, the organizer is low risk taking. Now, what does that mean for us in real estate? It simply means that these buyers will think a lot more before making decisions. They have fine and minute attention to detail. They're the kind of people who would go 1, 2, 3, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. They don't trust easily. So even if you share any statistics or facts, they will want to see the source. And they will take a much longer time to make the decision. Now, what this again means for you as a salesperson is you should not get impatient. Don't hurry them along, because the moment you hurry them along, rather than buying, they will actually end up moving away and telling you, let me think about this. They'll probably come back later. So the way to work with these people is to be well-planned, logical, sequential, structured, organized, but don't skip any details. In your mind, especially if you're a front brain type of person, you might be looking at getting things done quickly. You're a big picture kind of person. So 1, 5, 10 works for you, but not for the organizers. The organizer is the 1, 2, 2.1%. Now, here's an example. If I'm sitting with a buyer who's organizer and I tell him, last week we had 9 billion dirhams worth of transactions in Dubai, they will not believe you. Now, I could do that with front brain. They just want the straight number. But for this person, he wants proof. So instead of him asking you, where did you get it from? A more effective way of presenting would be, last week, according to the Dubai Land Department, we had 2,700 investors who invested 9.2 billion dirhams in Dubai. Now they will buy it. So what should you keep in mind when you meet with these people? Firstly, you should not be aggressive, fast, quick, because they don't like that. They feel you're hurrying them along. You'll need to be a bit patient, calm down, speak slower, speak at a lower tone, use a lot of detail when you speak. You will still remain specific and factual because they are left brain buyers. But you will have to show them a method and a process, logic, sequence, high attention to detail. Support any fact that you give with the source of the statistic when presenting to them. Ask frequent questions in between, because they are not aggressive personalities and they think a lot before they decide whether they want to list and sell through you or whether they want to buy from you. So you should ask good open questions. For example, you wouldn't ask them a question like, do you have any questions? What you would do is you would ask, so what questions do you have about this community? Because they will not volunteer the information. They're more into themselves. Some professions that might give you an idea about these kind of people: auditors, lawyers, accountants, secretaries, administrative people, research jobs. These people have got a lot of attention to detail, want to be accurate, never feel the pressure to make a quick decision, and actually take their time. So it doesn't mean that they're not interested. It just means that they're more thorough and they're more careful. So please make sure that anything that you're presenting is factual. Any statistic that you are quoting can be proven and supported. Be patient. Give them time. They will always come back to you. Of the 4 buyers, if this buyer, the organizer, tells you, let me think about this, I'll come back to you, he actually means it. Any of the other 3 buyers and sellers who tell you, let me think about it, are making the excuse and they want to leave. So keep in mind just this one word, organizer, and you will know how you have to approach this buyer and seller in an organized, structured manner. I want to thank you for your time with us on this episode of M&A, Becoming the USP, the Ultimate Sales Professional.